So first couple tests we're going to do, I'm going to test out this ignition wires coming off the distributor, and we're just checking resistance. Manufacturer recommends that you do not exceed 25 on the K, 25K of ohms. So I've set mine to the 20K, and I've got spark plug wire, ignition wire number 4. I've got it all hooked up. You can see right here, I've got 3.95 as my indication. So that's a good ignition wire. I've already checked 3, 2, and 1, and the longer the ignition wire, the more you should expect the reading to be. So almost 4 here on 4, and then on 3 and 2 we're almost about 5.5, between 5 and 5.5, and then ignition wire for number 1 was, I had an indication of, I think it was like 6.7, 6.5. So the longer, the more resistance. So one thing I would like to touch is on your ICM, the ignition control module, which is inside the distributor. Something that is specific to the ignition control module, and it may be sporadic. You could have an issue with it, but if you have RPM readings at your tach, you should not have an issue with your ICM. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that it is good to go and that you don't have any problems. I'm just saying that, with that being said, per the service manual, if you got RPMs coming on your tach, you're good to go. You shouldn't have an issue with your ICM. It doesn't mean you can't test it, but maybe we'll check our coil, see how that's doing. We have an external coil on it, so we'll see where that's at, and move on to maybe like the map sensor, the TPS sensor, which is your throttle position, and then maybe your crankshaft position sensor. We'll see, your top dead center sensor. I'm hoping to get all these knocked out and verify that they're all good. These are quick, easy ones right off the bat, so stay tuned for more. So the first one is going to be our map sensor. We're going to disconnect the plug and turn the car to the on position. Motor is not running. I've already got the map sensor plug, the female side, disconnected. I'm going to be checking the yellow, red, and green, white. Now, I'm using a multimeter on the 20 volt setting. Got it on. I've got me a kind of a cheater system here, since some of these plugs get to be a little small. I've got a wire wrapped around my probe, and then I have like a pin that can go in and easily slide in to the yellow, red for positive. I don't think it really matters. And then my green, that's green, red, green, yellow, excuse me, green, yellow. I'm getting confused on my colors. Instantly, I see now I have got 5.2 volts. 5.2. All right, so we're going to be testing the coil right here. There's a couple different tests that you can do on these. First one we're going to do is we have terminal A, C, B, and then D. And then you have your secondary right there. So we're going to test that. I've got it on 20K. I'm going to go ahead and check between the secondary and A, and it says you're allowed about 16 to 21. I think it's 16.4 to 21.8 or something like that. So there's 17.8. So that means the secondary is good. That's awesome. And then you want to check between A and C. And it does specify that your temperature can can vary the readings off of your indications. So just so that you're aware, it's about 62 degrees in here. It's not very warm. I have this down to the 20 indication, 200 ohms, and I'm reading a 0.4, 0.3. You're allowed the 0.6, I think it's 6.8 to 7.2, or 6.4 to 7.8, excuse me, 0.64 to 0.78. So it could be that it feels cold. It's like 62 degrees in here, and the manufacturer's specifications say it has to be about 68 degrees, and it does specify that the readings could change depending on temperature. So we're going to say that it's good. I've got good secondary, and then it also asks for continuity between A and B terminals. So we're going to switch that over and see if we can get continuity between A and B. Now remember, B is at the bottom here, and then A on top, and I've got continuity. So pretty much a good coil there. Easy check, nothing too fancy. I'm going to say it's good. I know that the temperature is a little chilly in here, 62 degrees. That's not a huge difference from 68, but I'm going to go ahead and call it good. I don't think there's anything else we can do with it. I wouldn't mind potentially getting rid of it and buying a new one, since it is on the low side. Go ahead and check this on a warmer day, and we'll see if it reads the same. As for now, it's getting a little late in here. I spent a little time cleaning up in the garage, prepping for the potential to rip the whole thing apart again. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and call it good for the night. I'll get a couple other sensors. If we end up going back to the timing belt, making sure there's no, it's not off a tooth, which I honestly don't think it is. I really think that it's the ECU. I think that all these years, that thing's probably had that ECU for a long time. We'll just say that. Anyway, it's a P28 with a Neptune chip. It's a burnt chip, so that the degradation, as it were, or the information on there could have contaminated over time. It could have got shorted out. Who knows? So I'm just going to call it good on the coil. We checked the spark plug wires. You can do the same on the coil wire to the distributor. As I mentioned with the ICM, ignition control, if you've got RPMs, you almost reassured that your ICM is good, your ignition control module, and then the map sensor. Later on, we'll go through a couple other sensors before we tear the car apart. So thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and if you have a comment or maybe a suggestion on helping me out, or if you have something you wouldn't mind seeing me do, I've got 4 or 5 months before it probably starts to defrost from all the snow we're going to get here in the next few months. So this car is going to sit here for another few months. Any suggestions or comments, let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to consider subscribing, I'd appreciate it. Thanks, and have a good one.
I gave you my heart.